Good morning, Year 3. Welcome to our reading lesson for Thursday. Today we're going to be looking at storyboards. So before we begin, let's first of all make sure that you are ready to start. So do you have your pencil and paper? And use the pause button whenever you need to. The ally for the lesson today is to create a storyboard for a play script. Let's first of all start with a quiz. Today the quiz is much longer and we'll mark it at the end of each slide. So, features of a play. Which of these people would use a play script? Wayne Rooney, Lady Gaga, Johnny Depp, Jack Sparrow, Mr. Bean. You need to know your characters here. Where would you normally perform a play script? In a barn, which is A, B, on the moon, C, on stage, or D, in the park. You should know these, they are a repeat. What would tell you if it's a stage direction? A, on a separate line, brackets around the text, C, in bigger writing, or D, in smaller writing. What is the most important part of a play script? A, the title of the play, B, name of the character, C, stage directions, or D, all of the above. And the last one for this slide, where would be your ideal play script setting? Pick one. This is purely up to you. A, the swimming pool, B, a castle, C, a football pitch, or D, an enchanted forest. Let's mark this set of 5 questions. So number 1, which of these people would use a play script? It's C, Johnny Depp. He's Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean. Number 2, where would you normally perform a play script? It's C, on stage. Normally on stage, but you could perform it in the park, in a barn, quite difficult on the moon. What would tell you if it's a stage direction? It's B, brackets around the text. Number 4, what is the most important part of a play script? D, all of the above, or all A, B and C. And number 5, where would be your ideal play script setting? Well, that's totally up to you. Whichever you chose would be completely fine. Let's move to the second set of quiz tasks. Number 1, which tense is used for stage directions? 1, past tense, 2, present tense, 3, future tense, or 4, passive tense. A play is made up of acts and, is it 1, chapters, 2, shots, 3, episodes, or 4, scenes? What are stage directions? 1, reminders to the author. 2, instructions which tell the actors how to speak and how to move. 3, instructions telling the audience what they should pay attention to. Or all of the above, which is number 4. Last one in this group. A new scene should begin when there is a change of setting. Number 1. Number 2, a new character is introduced. 3, something happens in the play. Or 4, the actors become bored. That would be a great pity. Right, let's mark this group of 4. So the tense used is number 2, present. Normally, it's done in present tense. Number 2, a play is made up of acts. And number 4, scenes. What are stage directions? They are, number 2, instructions which tell the actors how to speak and how to move. And 4, a new scene should begin when there is a change of setting. Number 1. How are you doing? So we've had 9 so far. Are you doing okay? If you've got at least 7, 8 or 9, perfect. Let's move on. Last group. Where would you look to find the names of all the characters in a play? Number one, in a list before the first act. The first act is the first scene. Number two, in the title. Number three, in an index. Or number four, in the glossary. Which of the following lines would be correctly punctuated for a play script? You need to read this one. Francis says, in speech marks, "Where are you going, Betty?" Or number two, Francis says, colon, "Where are you going, Betty?" And then we have Francis, colon, with speech marks, "Where are you going, Betty?" And the last one is pretty similar to the first one. So I can't quite read that one properly. So have a look. Which one is it? Let's move on. The speech in a play is called the. Is it 1, speech, 2, dialogue, 3, conversation, or 2, argument? And the last one, out of all of these, if a character needs to speak in a certain way, the instructions will be given in 1, a large font, 2, bold, 3, brackets, or 4, Italian. Okay, let's mark this last group of 4. So we've had 9 so far. This will make 13. So number 1, where would you look to find the names of all the characters in the play? It would be number 1, in a list before the first act, which is the same as, we can say, scene. An act is part of a scene. Which of the following lines would be correctly punctuated for a play script? Well, it's a bit confusing here, but if you put 2 or 4, they'd be okay. I think 2 is a bit misleading, but 4, yes, 2 or 4 will be fine. Number 3, the speech in a play is called it'll be number 2, it's called a dialogue. And the last one, if a character needs to speak in a certain way, the instructions will be given in number 3, brackets. So did anyone get 13 out of 13? That would be quite remarkable. If you got 12 out of 13, that's still excellent. 11 out of 13, which did say that's very good. 10 out of 13, definitely good. 9 or 8, okay. So anything lower than that, you've got a bit of work to do when it comes to identifying the features of a play script. Let's move on. Now that our quiz is over, these are the features of the play script you've been looking at for the last 2 lessons. A play script can be created from a book. So the book is published first, and then people think, wouldn't it be wonderful if readers could actually see this play on stage and go and watch it? So they create the play script. It can be created from a book or a narrative, and that is quite normal, quite common. Now, why am I saying that? Well, if you want to create a play script, you need to look at the story that you're taking the play from, and you need to organize that story into images so that people can look at it and see what it would look like from the start to the end. So a storyboard is a visual organizer that consists of illustrations or images displayed in a sequence for the purpose of pre-looking. We call that visualizing. So you need to be able to look at it and know what it's going to look like when you perform the play. So you do that by putting all these images in a sequence. So it's like going from one step to the next step. So it can be done for plays, motion pictures, animations, or any interactive media sequence. This storyboard is about a character list. So you know at the beginning, before scene 1, they will have a character list. So part of the storyboard would be, who are the characters? What are those characters like? Who are they? That type of thing. So let's first of all now move on to a video. So what we're going to do is, sometimes plays are created after a film or movie comes out, because people think, wouldn't that be wonderful to have that film or movie on stage? So in order to do that, they would have to create a play script. So first of all, they would need to have a storyboard. So let's go back here. I'm going to try and get onto this, yes. So let's watch the video first. So you're watching it because you need to pay attention to what happens in this clip of Alice and Wonderland.
Oh, Dinah, it's just a rabbit with a waistcoat and a watch. Oh, my dearie biscuits, I'm late. This is curious. What could a rabbit possibly be late for? Please, sir! I'm late. For a very important date. No time to say hello, goodbye. I'm late. It must be awfully important, like a party or something. Mr. Rabbit, wait! No, I'm overdue. I'm really in a stew. No time to say goodbye. Hello, I'm late. My, what a peculiar place to have a party. You know, Dinah, we really shouldn't be doing this. After all, we haven't been invited, and curiosity often leads to trouble. Goodbye, Dinah. Goodbye. Well, after this I shall think nothing of falling downstairs. Goodness. What if I should fall right through the center and come out the other side where people walk upside down? Oh, but that's silly. Nobody... Oh! Oh, Mr. Rabbit, wait!
Well, that's the video, and the idea is that you need to recall certain clips of the video. But let's first of all have a look at a storyboard I've created. So up here we've got something that could be read by a narrator. Written by Lewis Carroll in 1864, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland is about a small girl who journeys through many strange lands, meeting many curious characters along her way. So this would be storyboard number 1. So frame number 1 really. So here's a picture of a scene, because Alice will start off somewhere, and this is the scene I've chosen. And so in this storyboard, frame 1, I've just got a picture of the scene and then a short sentence explaining the scene. The story begins on a warm summer's day. And then number 2, Alice is sitting there. Alice was happily daydreaming when suddenly something caught her attention. And then we can move on. So I've got the rabbit with his watch, and Alice says, "A rabbit with a waistcoat, how strange." And then White Rabbit saying, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late. So some basic dialogue with the image or illustration is definitely part of creating a storyboard. And then next we see Alice running on to those stones to cross the stream. And Alice saying, what could a rabbit be? Now, can you remember from the video, what did Alice say? If you can't remember, you can create something that will fit into what she could possibly be saying after seeing the rabbit and the rabbit running off. So fill in that missing space. In the next frame, we've got the White Rabbit. He's now looking at his, we can see the clock or his watch, and he's saying, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late for. What is he late for? You could fill in that space. So with the storyboard, you have images plus some basic dialogue with the character name to go with it. Okay, so let's move to the next step. Here, I've created 6 more, I'm going to call them frames to continue the storyboard. So Alice decides to follow the rabbit into his burrow. So what happens once she crawls in? So this is up to you. You can create different images to go in each frame. And also put in there basic speech and dialogue that could go with the image. So the whole idea here is that you build up a visual organizer for people to be able to visualize what the play would look like from the start to the end. So good luck with this task. Remember, you don't have to be a great artist. Basic drawings or images will be fine, and have appropriate relevant dialogue that goes with your image. If you're unsure about what happened, you could just rewatch the video. So when you've completed the work, email to yr3@grange.harrow.sch.uk. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. I look forward to reading your work. Take care for now. Be safe. Bye.